Welcome back. Welcome back for a wonderful afternoon. This is going to be full of rich and interesting experiences. To start it off, I'm going to introduce you to a person I've known for a few years who has been the backbone, one of the foundation people who has revolutionized India with technology. Most of us know this technology revolution. This is, if I was going to pick one person, this is the man. He is the advisor to the Prime Minister. He holds many positions, including with the UN. He's an inventor. He holds over 100 patents. Well, I can go on and on about Sam Pitroda. Sam, why don't you come out? It's better. He's a great guy. I'm supposed to give Sam this because, you know, technology. Oh, you're going to use that? Okay.
Thank you, Jack.
Anyway, Sam, welcome.
Thank you, Jack. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's indeed a special privilege to be here with you to share some of our work on GIS and technology in India. I want to thank Jack and ESRI for giving me this opportunity. Looking at all of you, almost 10,000, it is indeed a very humbling experience. I'm going to talk first a little bit about India and then about GIS. India is a very complex country, very diverse in terms of genetic pool. We have deserts on west, rainforest on east, Himalayan mountains on north, 6,500 kilometers of ocean front, and tropical jungles in south. This India is changing and changing rapidly. India also has a great deal of history, heritage in our temples, languages, art, music. 2,700 years ago, India had best of the best universities in the world. Takshashila, Nalanda, Ratnagiri. In 1760, India was the largest economy in the world, 27%. In 1947, when India got independence from British Raj, Indian economy was about 2% of the world. And as a result, founding fathers spent a lot of time on building higher education institutions and infrastructure, research, and focused on agriculture, atomic energy, space research, medical research, agricultural institutions, IITs for technology, IIMs for management. This was the focus in early days. 65 years down the road, we see a lot of the great benefits of all the seeds we had planted then. Technology has been the key driver in India's development. But some of us look at technology a little differently. We believe technology is a great social leveler, second only to death. Some of us also believe that the best brains in the world are busy solving problems of the rich who really don't have problems to solve. And as a result, problems of the poor really don't get the right kind of talent. We have the largest number of poor in the world. We have a huge amount of young talent, and we have moral responsibility to solve the problems of the poor. And that's where we believe technology, including GIS, is going to help us in the next couple of decades to come. Now India is able to feed 1.3 billion people, and we also have surplus food. We are one of the largest producers of milk. I started my work in India after having spent about 2 decades in US on telecom in early 80s. Then we had 2 million telephones for 750 million people. Just in a short span of 20 years, India is a nation of connected billion. We have 900 million telephones. And the key is to take this connectivity forward. India has been growing at the rate of 8% for the last 7-8 years, leaving aside last year and a half. India generates over $100 billion worth of software export every year, year after year, and we believe that number will go to 250 billion by 2025. This India is looking at technology to really create opportunities for the young. But this India has lots and lots of challenges. Challenges related to urban development, rural development, education, health. India is still a very poor country. 300 million illiterates, 400 below poverty line, 400 million. And that is the challenge. So everything we do has to take into consideration bottom of the economic pyramid. All our focus has to be on inclusive growth. And this demands that we understand affordability, scalability, and sustainability. We have 550 million young below age of 25. We need to create 12 to 15 million new jobs every year, year after year. How do you do that? And that is the main developmental agenda for us. So in a sense, from my perspective, there are really 3 challenges in India. Disparity between rich and poor, urban, rural, educated, uneducated. This disparity is very large, and we need to really narrow it a little bit. Second, demography. As I said earlier, 550 million young below age of 25. Where everywhere else in the world, population is aging and decreasing. In India, it is young and increasing. This is the workforce for the world. How do we train them, skill them, feed them, provide nutrition, create jobs? Is the fundamental challenge for us. We also have to make sure that we do expedite the process of development. Everything is happening in India, but perhaps not at the pace we would like. We have 3 strategies on development. First, expansion. We need more schools, more hospitals, more teachers, more doctors, more roads, more power plants, more homes, more jobs. We also need to make sure that the quality of everything we do needs to be improved substantially. Leaving aside top 5%, 10% of education, health, governance, everywhere, we need to really improve quality. And finally, equity. We have to make sure that the poorest of the poor can indeed get the best education possible. To do this, we have decided to focus on information. We believe a lot of the poverty has to do with the poverty of information. So we have right to information, which has been introduced, but we really don't have information organized in a manner people can use. So we believe information is going to be the fourth pillar of democracy in the 21st century. As you know, we are the largest democracy in the world. I remember many years ago going to Soviet Union, and I was with Gorbachev and a couple of his associates. And one of his ministers told me, he said, Mr. Pitroda, we are so impressed with India, mainly because we just don't know how you hold this country together without guns. Such a large country with so much of diversity, and you don't use guns to hold them together. What do you do? He said, if we turn our guns around, we know Soviet Union will have difficulty holding it together. And I think this democracy forces us to democratize information. If we democratize information, we believe we can really radicalize our democracy. So we are creating public information infrastructure to provide information to large number of people. And this would really integrate with geo-information. Public information infrastructure really consists of various platforms. We have a platform to connect voice, which is already done. We are now building platform to connect data. Then, for ID, every resident will get unique ID, facial, fingerprints, iris, and this ID would be plugged into all the applications, like bank account, mobile phone connection, ration card, food distribution, employment guarantee schemes. And then we are creating now a nationwide platform for GIS to really tag every physical asset. With this, we have a platform for cybersecurity, lots of government and public service applications. We are computerizing, for example, 32 million court cases. It takes 15 years to get justice today, and we believe by computerizing, we'll be able to reduce this to perhaps 3 to 4 years to get justice. We're computerizing prisons, police, intelligence agencies, food distribution, passports, driver's license, employment programs. Sum total today, we have about 10,000 software people working in the government on computerizing a lot of these applications. And this is where GIS would be plugged in the future. We are also providing electronic payment to large number of people. We have several national portals on water, energy, environment, biodiversity. And we have created, in collaboration with the US government, as a result of the visit of President Obama, open government platform. This platform is really launched in India and in US jointly, and now we are offering it to many other countries at no cost as a gift from US and India. We are already in Ghana and Rwanda, and we have a list of about 20 countries. All of these platforms are really geared towards democratizing information. The first main network is known as Knowledge Network. It really has 1,500 nodes with 40 gigabit bandwidth to connect all our universities, all our libraries, all our R&D institutions to improve collaboration and share resources. This network is already built, and it cost us about $2 billion. The next network is all about connecting 250,000 local governments to optical fiber. This is going to cost us about $7 billion. We believe in next 18 months to 12 maybe 24 months, this network would be operational. It will connect all the way up to panchayat or villages. And this will allow us to really re-engineer a lot of our processes. Education system will help us in agriculture, health, and delivery of public services. This has to really tie into our vision of empowerment. Our goal is to really empower 1 billion people through knowledge, information. And this is where GIS, we believe, will play an important role. We have state level, local governments who control a lot of the information, and we also have federal government with huge amount of information. So we need to work hand in hand with state as well as federal governments. We have been working with GIS for the last 20 years, on and off. We have used GIS in bits and pieces for many of these activities on energy, transport, farming, and many other areas. We use GIS for disaster management, many of the government projects. But now we need to really extend benefits and create a platform to link up with all of the other activities. So our real vision is to have new information regime supporting good governance, good public service, sustainable development, and ultimately empowering 1 billion people. So the value proposition for us relates to geotagging all the assets, like the UID for the residents, planning and monitoring of government funds and programs and resources, transparency in the government, because we do believe that information brings about openness, accessibility, connectivity, networking, democratization, decentralization, and as a result, generational transformation. All our citizen-centric services would be plugged into GIS. And we really need to focus not only on citizen services, also on enterprise applications, government applications, and as a result, GIS platform will have infrastructure, asset, portal, a national portal, and we need to build human capacity. Like in telecom in early 80s, we started with training 1,000 engineers in digital communication. Then we took 1,000 more and trained them on high-speed computing. And that gave us the platform and resource to build software industry. We believe we will have to do something similar on GIS at this stage, because going forward, the human capacity is going to be a big challenge. So in governance, Rural Development Ministry, for example, can benefit substantially from GIS. Mining, water, all of the applications and the examples you saw in the morning give us more confidence to really build these applications in the near future to help us in managing our resources, improving productivity, increasing efficiency. We have several programs on e-governance today. Besides computerizing courts, there are special programs on e-governance which also would need plug into GIS services. And for enterprise, there are all kinds of applications. Earlier, we were talking about census data with a couple of friends during coffee break. And we said if the kind of applications we saw earlier, if we can get birth certificate online immediately at the time of birth, maybe the whole census meaning would change. We have launched our own satellite for imaging. We have lots and lots of different groups working on a variety of applications today in agriculture, land management, health services, and the idea is to bring all of these together. When we started looking at this 3 years ago, we realized that we have almost 10 different maps in the country. Everyone has their own map. Water department map is different from revenue department, is very different from telecom, gas authority. Each one has their own boundaries. And to get everyone to come together on a platform to agree to a common map took us almost a year and a half. Information is power nobody wants to share. And we learned hard way that if we want to succeed in this area, we got to get everybody collaborating together and accepting one common standard. These are some of the national assets and some of the state level assets. All of these assets will have to seamlessly work together. And it's not very easy to work with different states. We have around 30 different states, 15 different languages. Some of our states have 200 million people, like a country. And to get all of these to work together is indeed a major challenge for us. Capacity building is the core of our program on national GIS. We need to get right in early school education, understanding of GIS. We need to train people in the government. We need to train management people. We need to educate our politicians. We need to create special university, special courses. And we believe a lot of this is going to take a decade. This is one of those items which is not going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years. For us, the fundamental drivers are minimizing cost, improving efficiencies, enhancing public services. You look at our 5-year plans, which are documented in 3 big books, close to 1,000 pages. Hardly anybody reads those plans. Now we are digitizing, making it available to large number of people, including schools and colleges. All of these things are just beginning to happen. The key at this stage is connectivity, access, organizations, policies, and we do realize that we need special organization for GIS. We need special policy framework for GIS, and we do need focus on innovations. So National GIS Agency will look at capacity building, policies, manage portal, create infrastructure, provide services, and manage assets. It will also tie in with a lot of the other agencies, like remote sensing, aerial survey, National Organization for Maps. All of this work has just started. What do we hope to achieve from all of this? We do believe that information would improve transparency, accountability, would address issues related to corruption, misunderstanding, waste of resources, and would make government more accountable. It will empower citizens. It will provide knowledge to a large number of people, and hopefully, because of the size of the country, we will be able to provide the kind of leadership that we need at all levels to integrate GIS into many government programs. These are some of the applications we are working on right now: land acquisition, wasteland development, water, agriculture, mining, and all of that. Planning does use GIS today. But at the end of the day, we really need Indian model of development. We believe the Western model based on consumption is just not scalable, sustainable, workable, desirable for India. We cannot have education at the cost of $30,000 a year tuition. It's just not scalable. We have to focus on affordability. Everything we do has to be affordable. I always give this example on telecom. I've been in telephone business for about 50 years. Per line cost of telephone line remained at $1,000 a line. And as a result, it took us 110 years to get billion telephones in the world. Then came mobile telephony. Cost went from $1,000 to $500 a line, to 200 to 100, and it went to 80. All of a sudden, in 15 years, we had 6 billion more mobile phones. So everything we do in India has to keep in focus bottom of the economic pyramid and affordability. We do cataract surgery for $1.50. We do quadruple bypass for $2,000 as opposed to $20,000 or $50,000 or $70,000. All of these things require Indian model of development, Indian way of innovating for the poor. And this is the challenge for all of us. These models don't exist anywhere else. Everyone is quick to look up to the US and the West for all kinds of solutions, which is great. But at the end of the day, if we can't change the cost model, it has no applications in India except for the top of the pyramid. Take, for example, auto. Can we really develop a system where everybody in India and China would have a car? It's a scary thought. How can we have a billion, 1.3 billion cars in India? What does it mean to environment? So we need to find new solutions for transportation. A lot of these things require generational change and not incremental change. The biggest challenge for us is mindset. I tell many of my colleagues today that we have 19th century mindset, 20th century processes, and 21st century technology, and 21st century needs. We got to think very differently. Finally, the real challenge is to reduce disparity in the next couple of decades. 2010, 2020 has been declared by Government of India as the decade of innovation. We have National Innovation Council, state-level innovation councils, and the focus is to train young to think differently. We believe through innovative ideas, out-of-the-box thinking, we'll be able to address challenges related to disparity, expedite development, and really focus on demographic dividend. If we don't focus on 550 million young, it could be a major challenge for us going forward. I'm confident, mainly because of technology of today, whether it is information and communication, cloud computing, open source software, fiber optics, smartphones and all that, or biotechnology, nanotechnology, materials, alternate energy. All of these things give us hope to find new solutions. I'm upbeat on India, mainly because of technology and the young talent. But I do realize that we have a long way to go. Journey is just beginning, and it will perhaps take a decade or two. But the success we had in telecom gives me the confidence that it can be done. We need help. We look forward to your support, your understanding. And once again, I want to thank Jack for giving me this opportunity. And I wish you all a great conference. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you,
Sam.
Thank you very much.
You want me to come down? It's great.
Thank you.
Sam is one of the reasons why I have confidence about the future. This is leadership, isn't it? My God. Really, Sam, thank you. My great pleasure to have you here. Thanks. Phew. Roger Tomlinson at lunch, we were talking, if we'd only met Sam 30 years ago, wasn't that your comment, Roger? It's great. It is the kind of leadership that we need for the future. It's the kind of leadership we need to turn it around. That kind of top-down thinking, but also not just baloney. I'm talking about people that actually have done things. He did things, and he continues to do it today, transforming our future.